Hello, and welcome to the three-man official podcast. There's only been three people here. Whenever we have four, that's often a guest. I don't know if you folks out there knew this fact, but it's true. So don't question where the fourth host is, because that's a joke, a lie, and you're making it up, and I hate you for it.
Unless you're referring to Alex from I Hate Everything. He was our fourth host, remember? Permanent.
They're referencing that joke. I'm
one,
sorry,
yeah.
I forgot about that bit. That's my fault for. Yeah. I made a big blunder. Well, let's go back to the regular format of the show, the three-host episode. And would either of you like to start off, or should I jump into my topic?
Go ahead.
Well, just real quick. No. While we're still on this, do you think it would be at all possible to do like a revisionist history of the official podcast where Charlie never even existed on it? Like we actually make the audience believe that Charlie never existed.
Yeah.
Because what I'm thinking of, like, you look at like Painkiller already. What is it? Painkiller, PKA. What is that? Painkiller already, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That podcast has been going like twice as long as we are, and they're still around. And I think Wings of Redemption was a host on that for like the first 200 episodes. But now they've done like 600 episodes without Wings. And I doubt anyone who listens to PKA listened during the time period where Wings was a host.
We could totally
There are probably
gaslight
people who don't even know that Game Grumps was originally Aaron, Egoraptor, and Jontron, because Danny from Ninja Sex Party has been their co-host for way, way longer than Jontron was.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
If we do the next 400 episodes as just us three, then we could just gaslight the audience into thinking that Charlie was never a host.
How many years is that? We just have to wait for a generation.
Another 8 years.
A new generation. Have you guys seen that? So young people who are watching South Park now think that Cartman is like the woke nice character, apparently, because they haven't seen the previous.
I have seen that
20 seasons. They're like, Cartman would never misgender someone or be racist. He would stand up for Token. It's like, oh, okay. So you've only seen like the most recent season, I guess, but this is a fact now in some people's heads. So if they can do it, we can do it.
Well, they'd probably argue that it's like character development and that he would never do it anymore. Maybe that's.
I don't think so.
Like,
I mean,
changed. How
many teenagers do you know going back to season 2 of South Park? Whenever that came out.
I know no teenagers, and I'm proud of that fact.
Or heard of, I guess.
Like there's some mythical beings.
Yeah, there's some out there. I don't know. They're just engrossed in their phones, so you never see them in the wild. But who knows? Oh, that's a funny, clever, original joke.
I've hit that age where teenagers now scare me. I've become fearful and mistrustful of teenagers.
Fearful?
I totally agree.
It's mostly to do with like just the rampant like teen crime over here. It's like the biggest majority of crime over here is just like teenagers stealing cars and breaking into houses and stuff.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, like an enormous amount. It's like an actual like pandemic of teen crime, and it's all because of fucking shit parents going to the pokies or the poker machines every night, leaving their kids at home, not parenting them. You know how in America you've got the problem of like your parents or parents over there like just putting an iPad in front of the children and then doing whatever.
Yep.
That's the problem over in America. Over here it's different. It's like either the parents are just iced up on like meth or some shit, or they're at the pokies, the corner poker store, just like playing video poker all night, leaving the kids just to do nothing. And
it's still funny. Your biggest problem is gambling. That's wild,
dude. It's actually insane.
Because you guys are an island, so I guess like smuggling fentanyl and shit into your country is more difficult. So they just opted for an easier drug, which is gambling.
Oh, I mean, we still we still have drug problems. Like I said, like most of the parents in those situations are just iced up, like they're just on ice. Is that a drug over in America? Ice? I don't know.
I'm sure it means something. It's probably another name for meth or fentanyl or something. I've heard ice as a term for something. Yeah.
Ice, glass, meth. I've seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Kaya's the expert here. Let's consult him.
Drug lord Kaya. Yeah. But yeah, it's the gambling really, because like our biggest industry in the country by expenditure or whatever is gambling, and we are the biggest gambling country in the world. And it's kind of fucking mental. Like you go down to every like corner pub and it's just an entire half of the building is dedicated to poker machines, and it's just zombies in there just playing poker from dawn to dusk, basically.
Wasting their
It's
inheritance.
crazy.
That sucks.
I don't know where they get the money from, because they're always at the poker machines.
Credit,
So when do they go
probably.
to work? Where do they get? Yeah. You think they're taking out loans to play poker? I don't know.
Yes, people
Maybe.
do that. Absolutely. Of course.
Maybe,
They drain multiple credit cards, and then their entire family is now owned by the credit company. Absolutely,
It's
they do.
the gambler's fallacy, where they say, "Oh, I'm this close to winning. I've been playing for so long, so if I take this money out now, I have to win it back. That's how the odds are. You know, I haven't won in forever. It's gonna happen." And they just fuck their lives over.
Plus the sunk cost fallacy of, well, I've already lost so much money, I
Yeah.
have to make it back. If I
Yep.
quit now, I've just lost.
Yep.
Yep, they can't accept a loss. They have to at least walk away like even or not that bad off. They can't just say, "Yeah, I lost," and walk away. It's
in
really
for
hard
a penny,
to do.
in for a pound. Yeah, no, they don't. They don't walk away.
Yeah.
What's your guys' like predispensity for gambling? Do you guys think that you'd get addicted pretty easily?
No, not at all.
I do. I
Oh.
do. I really, when I'm in the zone on that kind of thing, I really, really get obsessive over it. And it's been a few things through my life, like Counter-Strike skins was one for a while. Crypto during the first booms years ago, like when it was first really hitting, I was doing that left and right. Like all sorts of just things here and there. TF2 hats, Team Fortress 2 hats back in the day when that was a thing in like the early 2000s, or I guess early 2010s. I always fall into those pits because I just find it fun to try to make money off of it and flip things and maximize profit and roll.
You're listing like gamer gambling, like loot box type
Right.
It's still
stuff, right?
gambling.
No, it is still gambling,
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's-
I thought Andrew
Mhm.
Jackson originally meant like online poker.
Oh, I mean, no,
Or casinos
the more
and stuff.
traditional, straightforward, not really. But what I do have to do when that happens is I have to consciously be like, okay, I can only spend this much money. Like I'm
Yeah.
having fun and enjoying it, but my credit card is a limit. I'm not buying any more. And sometimes you really, really get that temptation to go, oh, just put another $100 in. Just put another whatever.
No,
Who cares?
you need the
But it's-
willpower.
Yeah,
You
you
need the
really got to
willpower to cut
willpower it.
yourself
It's
off.
hard. It's hard, man. I can see why these people get addicted to it
Oh, I
it's
can absolutely see. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it firsthand, like family members addicted to it and stuff like that. I can
Yeah.
see why it happens and how it happens, and I'm sure I do have also the kind of like I would be capable of getting addicted to it very easily if I let myself, but
Mhm.
I just don't. Like you said, like I go to the casino maybe once every year with friends, and then I have a hard limit. Like I like consider like the $50 that I pay an entry fee or whatever. Like
Yeah.
this is all I'm spending for my night of fun, and once it's gone, I'm just done.
That's a healthy attitude where if you go to a casino or you go to Vegas or whatever and you say, okay, I got $500 for the night. And if I win, that's great. But if it's gone, that's it. And it's gone and we're done, you know? And I paid
exactly.
$500 to gamble at
For
the
the night
casino
of
and have
fun.
some drinks. Yeah, that's a healthy attitude. But the problem is, a lot of these people, they go in there, either A, they're just expecting to win money, which is dumb. But B, it's really a combination of investment and gambler fallacy where they can't let a loss go. They cannot
Yeah.
accept that they lost their money. They have to get it back, you know?
Plus, these casinos and gambling places are so smart as well. Like they load you up with like free drinks to get you wasted, so that
Yep.
all your inhibitions are gone. Like they've got this shit down.
I've got a list on Google Docs somewhere for a video I want to do, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But there are 1,001 tricks that casinos use to keep you gambling. So that's one. They will give you free drinks if you're there for a long time just to loosen your inhibitions. But the one that I always found the most fucking dastardly is twofold. Number one, casinos are intentionally built to be as labyrinthian and confusing as possible. So it's hard to
can't get
find
out.
the exit when you want to leave. And number two, there are no windows whatsoever, and the lights are regulated to fuck with your circadian rhythm and throw it off so you don't realize you need to go to bed or it's as late as it is. They are fucking evil, man.
They've got the
They will
fucking
get
same
you.
people designing this
Video
the
games.
casinos as the ones that design like Guatemala. Like no wait, not Guantanamo Bay, I mean Guantanamo Bay. Yeah,
The
Guantanamo
whole
Bay.
country.
Yeah.
Damn, Guatemala's got a lot
I'm
of
at
problems with
Guantanamo.
casino owners designed the whole country. Jesus Christ.
The citizenship
Is
test is a
Guantanamo-
slot machine.
Is Guantanamo Bay in Guatemala? Or is
Okay,
that just-
sir,
No.
you've been sentenced to drug trafficking in Guatemala. I need you to pull that lever there and see what your sentence is. Come on, jackpot. Oh, man.
That is fucked up. Like turning it into a labyrinthian maze.
Yeah, yeah.
Surely that's like an actual fire hazard, though.
Like that
Who
matters.
knows? You know, I don't think they care because they have so many ways that they just put it in there to make you keep gambling. I think a newer thing they're doing now, I don't know if this is real or they were like talking about it. They want to make wristbands like at Disney World.
Yeah,
Where
Disney World.
you-
Yes.
Yeah, where you instead of having to pull out your card or go get money, you can tie it to a bank account and just tap the machine. And it just
Oh, great.
pulls it directly from whatever you put into that bank account.
Wonderful.
From your magic wristband. They already do that over here. Like, you walk into, like, say, the poker area at one of your local RSLs or restaurants, and before you go into the poker area, there's like a machine where you've got to put money onto a card first. So you load it
Oh,
up
God.
with the money, and then you've got the card full of money, and that's what you put into the poker
Yeah,
machine.
but Andrew means directly tied to your bank account, not loading up like a prepaid card like
Yeah.
you would have at the game arcade.
Like an account that you can send to the band, yeah.
Yeah, it could be tied to the bank account. I don't know. I've never done it.
It wouldn't surprise me if in the future they just, once you walk in the
Hmm.
door, they just do a facial scan and pull your social security number and take out multiple lines of credit in your name. And here you go, sir, your bracelet. Go nuts.
Oh, you seem to be worth 25 grand. Here you go.
Even if you do find the exit door, it just leads directly into a courtroom where they take your house from you.
Where you have to fight for your fucking assets. I love that.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised that casinos haven't like set up like little banks within them so that people could go in and get direct like lines of credit or like take out
Isn't
a loan
that
or
a
anything
thing?
like that directly at the casino. Is that a thing already?
Possibly,
is.
maybe. But the card itself, Jackson, what you're mentioning is another insidious plot by the casino to get you to spend money. Because think about it. If you sit down at a table, and that's another reason they use chips and not currency. If you sit down at a table, let's say you're playing blackjack, and the guy goes, "Oh, it's a $25 bet to play." If you put $25 US on the table, you'll go, "Oh, look at
You're
that.
gonna
That's my money.
realize.
There it goes. That sucks." But if you just put a chip, a single little chip down on
Suddenly
there,
it's
it
fun.
doesn't have the impact. It's not the same, you know? Same as if you tap a card rather than putting coins into a machine.
Yeah.
It just feels way less real. And that's what they want. They want that feeling. So you keep spending with it.
Well, yeah, that's the same reason they want to get rid of cash for all payments. It's like it's so much easier to just swipe a piece of plastic. It doesn't even feel like you're
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
robbed.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
What is it with like mankind's proclivity for gambling? Why do we seek it out so much?
I
The
don't
promise
know.
of winning.
The promise of easy winning, I think. We're just
Yes.
hardwired to seek shortcuts and least amount of calories, least amount of effort, and oh look, I'm a millionaire now. I won the lottery. But most people
The
don't.
potential reward always is more exciting than the actual. Like if you sit down at a slot machine, you go, "Oh my god, I could win a car. I could win $50,000." And your brain, whether you're not consciously thinking about it, is going for that. But at the meanwhile, 99.99999% of the time, you're just slowly trickling money away for nothing, you know? They even have you seen the fake win system, Jackson, where they have you
No.
win, but it doesn't actually win? Do you know that?
Does it just
what the
play the
fuck-
sounds and make the animations?
It does.
For the dopamine?
It does. So a lot of new slot machine and video poker machines now, what they'll do is you'll put in, let's say $1. It's $1 a play. And you play the game and it goes, "You're a winner. You won." And it plays the sounds and the lights and the animations, but it gives you 75 cents. So you just lost a quarter. But it makes you feel like you won something. You go, "Wow, that was amazing." And then you play again. And oh, you didn't win. And you just keep doing that.
You have to be an actual rat in Skinner's box to fall for that. How does that work?
Because
I
bright
don't know,
lights.
man. Bright, shiny, flashing lights. Woohoo.
Holy shit.
The people sitting at these poker machines, Kaya, are literally zombies. Like, I use that word with no kind of like over exaggeration. They're not taking in anything. They're just hitting the button over and over again. They're not thinking about anything. Like, there's a story, I think, about like how they genuinely just shit in their chairs constantly while they're at the machines, and then the organizations have to replace the chairs constantly because they're just soiled.
There's a crew in a lot of casinos literally designed just to do that, like a janitorial staff, that their whole point is to just look at guests, and if they die, man, there are people who die in casinos because they don't take care of themselves, and they're there for 3 days straight, and their whole job is to, as discreetly and quietly as possible, take that out of the casino, clean the chair, do whatever they have to do, and keep people around them happy with like, oh, sorry you had to witness that. Here's a free drink. You're welcome.
Yeah.
People have
Just imagine being so brainless
Sorry.
and absorbed in something that you just genuinely shit. You just shit in public on a chair. Like, oh my God.
So there's a lot of casinos in Florida because there's a lot of Indian tribes. So they, the whole America worked out a deal, and here's a casino.
Retired people.
Yes, a lot of retired people. Florida is a big hotspot for casinos because there's just this whole melting pot of the clientele and the people who would own them, and etc. And my dad and I, a long time ago, back when we both had like regular human being jobs, we used to every now and then for breakfast go to the casino, because they would have like a morning brunch breakfast buffet, and it was like, oh, you don't have to buy anything, you just sign up for a rewards card, it's free, and then you can get into this buffet and you pay for the plate and blah blah blah. And the food was really, really good, and it was a really great deal. But we stopped going. One of the reasons we stopped going is because when you looked around, it was the most depressing and miserable place to ever eat. The people there were soulless. There were people there at like 6 a.m. who you could tell never left. Everyone was just like ragged and fucking a husk of a human being. And you could tell that they offered this breakfast just to keep people there in the early morning and to make them feel better about being there. It was just really unnerving. It felt bad. Felt really bad to do.
I've always considered like those poker places and the casinos and stuff some of the most depressing places on the planet. And it's such a weird juxtaposition, because you go in there and it's like all vibrant, the lights are like blasting off, there's like really cool sounds and stuff. It looks like a carnival, it looks like it should be a really fun place. But then you actually look at the individuals and realize just how fucking dead inside they are and how miserable everyone is. It's so weird. It's such a strange feeling.
Yeah, and they don't make it fun either. I played I wish Charlie was here, because we had a story where we went to the Hard Rock here in Tampa once. It was a long time ago, and we sat at a blackjack table, and I didn't really know what the antes were, like how much I had to bet. And the guy was just like a dick about it. I was like, oh, what do I do? Do I just place a bet? And he's like, it's a $25 game. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, you put 25 or you leave my table. And I was like, Jesus Christ, okay. Like he just clearly had no respect for the people playing at all. Yeah, it was nuts. But I guess they don't care. They just are so desperate to win money. They don't give a shit,
Maybe I think if you were a what are they called? They're not pit bosses, right? Pit bosses are the ones that control the entire floor. What are the?
Yeah, those are the
dealers,
kind of the owners. Yeah,
the dealer.
Yeah, if you had to be a dealer or whatever, I think you would lose your humanity pretty quick, and you'd stop thinking of these people as like humans. You'd have to disassociate.
Yeah,
as you watch them fucking put themselves into like $100,000 worth of debt over a fucking card game.
Really? You also have to feel pretty crummy about yourself. Like, why am I doing this to these people?
Yeah.
And I wonder, at what point do you cross the event horizon from, damn, am I the bad guy, to fuck these people? They kind of deserve it. Fucking zombies. Like, does that happen, I wonder?
Yeah, when you get resentful of it.
Yeah.
So according to the internet, a little bit of Googling, the average hourly rate for a casino dealer is about $13 an hour. So it's like around minimum wage. So for that amount of money, I don't know how I would feel just robbing people of their life savings, It's not great.
If it's the only job you can get, like if it's a survival thing, then I guess you could pretty easily put it out from your mind, because these people are going to gamble anyway. Whether or not you're the one dealing the cards doesn't really matter, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't feel good about myself, that's for sure.
Oh man. Oh God. When do we get to the point where we can fully, completely replace poker and blackjack dealers with computers and automation? And we just don't even, like, they can run forever. Think about it. You could have a
Next
dealer at
3
a blackjack
days.
table just there forever.
Yeah. Next
Oh,
3
dude, why are we
years.
even fucking around with the pretense? Why are we even fucking around with the pretense? Let's just make these casinos as efficient as possible. You walk in, press a single button,
Yep.
it says if you won or not, and then you leave, or you get kicked
Like
out
a
if you're out
cookie
of money.
clicker, yeah.
Yeah, it's just click button, win. Okay, sweet. Click button, lose. Damn, I'm out of money. And then you kicked out. No people,
love that,
nothing. It's
actually.
just one single
Like a-
button.
One or nothing, your entire bank account on one gamble. Like Russian roulette almost.
But if you win, they really want to make people win. So if you win, they just throw you a parade in the street. They give you a crown and scepter. They put your name on the moon.
Yeah.
They're like, look at this winner. Don't you want to play the game?
Yeah, but if you lose, you'd like deported to the Siberian wilderness.
You're sent to Guatemala, the
Yeah.
prison made of casinos.
Yeah, I just
Wander
love that
between
concept of
slots.
it's just a room with a single button. You just walk in there, press it once, you either win or you lose your entire life savings.
We need the back rooms, except it's a casino of never-ending video poker and slot machines, and someone has to make a horror movie about always being forced to spend money, like they always siphon it out of you or something.
Ugh.
Do you guys have any ideas on how we can make casinos better and more fun and like actually enjoyable in terms of like people being happy?
Not really.
Um,
So you asked
No.
if we have any proclivities for gambling. I have a very addictive personality, but for some reason gambling has never appealed to me. With money, without money, doesn't matter. It bores the shit out of me. I don't know why. So I can't conceive of a like possibility of it being fun.
I guess my only real answer would be continually adding new things, because that's what when I was
Yeah, 'cause
into
it's
the
always
like
poker.
the,
It's always the same.
yeah, like when I was into the low tier gambling, like the skins and the hats online, I would get bored of the game. Like it would be like, okay, yeah, I got a Counter-Strike skin, and oh yeah, I played the game a bit, whatever. Okay, I don't want to do any of this anymore. I'm done. And then a new game would come along. So but for a casino, they always just play video poker or the same thing. So I don't even know what would help.
And like Kai said, it's so boring as well. Those games are so boring. Like I like roulette. Roulette's at least kind of fun.
Which is funny because that's like the worst casino game in terms of winning money.
Well, yeah.
But also your
Yeah.
idea of let's have a lot of updates and new games and such, that's not going to work in a casino. You have to make it friendly for the elderly who just don't want to learn a new thing.
True.
Right? So you don't want...
True.
Grandma isn't going to come into the casino. She just took out her social security check and her savings for her grandchildren. She doesn't want to sit down and go through a tutorial. She just wants to hit the slot
True.
machine button until she's broke.
But it would be fun. It would be fun to include like a weekly new game or something like Rock'em Sock'em Boxing. Like you have to gamble on which robot's gonna beat the shit out of the other one correctly. Stuff
High
like
stakes
that. I
rock,
think
paper, scissors. Yeah. Really cool
yes.
shit that the elderly can do.
Tickle fights. Whoever laughs the hardest loses.
Oh, wait, how about if for the elderly, whoever lives the longest wins and they get all the other people's money?
Do we just have them in a bed with like an IV hooked to them and they're not allowed to move
Yeah.
for several decades?
They sleep in a bed on camera 24 hours and the pit boss watches them sleep. Is he alive?
Oh, wait.
Go poke him. Make sure he's alive.
Even if you win, you don't get to leave. We just match you up with somebody else the same age until there's no one
It's
left.
a tournament bracket. It's a tournament bracket. It just runs forever.
Wait, so they're not in on it then? Are we the ones gambling on who's going to live the longest?
Oh,
Like
we
it's like
could
a-
Squid Game it, yeah.
Yeah, we could
Sure.
run
Yeah,
this.
why
We could
not?
run this on the dark web by just paying off a hospital or
Yeah.
something and putting secret cameras in the rooms, and people could bet on who's gonna die first.
We could do the most cliche dark like web horror movie ever where we run a secret society that bets on people getting murdered and we just do it like this in a casino.
Okay, pass. I don't want to do it anymore. You're right. That is so cliche.
I love how this all stemmed from how can we make casinos funner? And you guys went the most dark, depressing direction possible. I want to watch old people die.
My brain is fried, and it was part of one of my topics. It's related to that. So my mom came over to visit this last week, and she was hanging out with her husband. And they were sitting on the couch and watching stuff on the TV. and I noticed that they put on this movie or series. I think it's called Clickbait. And I don't know when this became the new trope, but I have seen so many indie movies and horror movies and like horror shows and Netflix shows and whatever, where the premise is, oh, it's a YouTuber, but views are bad. People watching things evil. So the point of this show was this woman is a teacher or something, and her friend comes up to her and goes, yo, check out this funny video. And the video is, if this video gets 5 million views, we kill this guy on camera.
Ugh,
And then it's
so
like,
many
oh,
horror
no.
movies like that too,
There's
dude.
so
It's
many movies that are doing it now,
so
right? In the
bad,
last
yes.
like 3 years, they've made like 1,000 of them. They're just everywhere now.
I know, and it's so when I go on my websites where I usually watch movies, you'll see the thumbnails for those fucking things, and you look at it and you read the description. It's like a group of influencers goes on vacation when things go awry.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. Like, this is why I don't pay for Netflix or any of this shit, because even when you give it to me for free, I don't want to watch it. Like, this is such garbage. Get it out of my feed.
I know.
I get angry just seeing the thumbnail. Like, fuck you.
It's the hot trend, and I want to call it now. It's the thing that people are going to start bitching about. You remember how in the 2000s it was, oh, vampires, everything vampires.
Yeah.
Here's a vampire comedy. Here's a vampire horror. Here's a vampire romance. And then after that, it was zombies. Oh, there's a zombie action movie. There's a zombie comedy. There's a zombie drama. There's a zombie. And everyone gets sick of it. I'm going to call this now. In the next couple years, the thing that people are going to get sick of is influencer movies. It's about YouTubers in a bad situation, or oh, he's a dark web influencer, or any of that, because I have just seen them everywhere. My brother a while ago recommended one. I don't remember what it's called, but it was about a YouTuber who goes, oh, I do extreme stunts and it's just not enough for me. So they put him in a real death game where he has to like solve puzzles or else he'll get killed. And it's the same premise every time, where the moral of it every single time is maybe influencing is bad. Maybe social media bad. Maybe all these things are bad because they just make people kill each other. It's just everywhere, man. It's everywhere.
I've seen stuff like Unfriended, which is like, it's not really social media, but it's a
Similar?
horror movie
Yeah,
where
that's
like
not
it's
really
all
the
through
same.
Zoom. Yeah, but I haven't seen this stuff where it's like actual
Unfriended is actually,
influencers.
it's fun when you're absolutely hammered and you're watching it with friends to make fun of
Yeah.
it, and that's it. But what Andrew's talking about,
Unfriended
I
at
wish I
least
could-
is a concept.
yeah, which is just a bunch of people on Skype and they're getting haunted by a Skype demon. But the thing that Andrew means is it's literally just douchebag fuckboy YouTube TikTokers go to a cabin in the woods and they're all douchebags, they're all unlikable, and one by one they die. Yawn.
Yep. And the whole point is the plot is always in the beginning. They go, oh, I got to film this for my followers. Oh, I got 3 million followers on this website that they make up for the movie because they don't have the rights to anything. And then they go, I'm doing a new video, and here's my new video that everyone's going to watch. And then, in a shocking twist, the video goes wrong, where the murder was real, or they did something bad, or someone is watching online and punishes them and kidnaps them. And there's 1,001 of those movies and TV shows coming out now, and they are all garbage. I've watched like 3 of them because every time a friend or a family member who has bad taste in things, because they just watch whatever's on Netflix, they go, oh, you'd like this show, you do the YouTube thing. So I check it out with them, and every time it's just the laziest, worst garbage ever made.
Have you seen the found footage type ones, Andrew, where it doesn't even have the charm of Blair Witch Project or anything. It's literally found footage of, again, a TikToker in the woods going, hey, all right, guys, like and subscribe this. Hey, I hope I don't die here and someone finds this phone with all my videos. It's like,
Does she meet the Blair Witch and floss at it and it gets like 1 million likes? That'd be epic.
pretty much. It's always the same type of crap.
And what I hate about it most, maybe what I hate about it most, is they always get it so totally wrong as well. It's kind of like that problem that they used to have in the past, where when you would watch TV shows and movies and they have to play a video game, they're never actually playing it. They're just smashing the controller as fast as they can and throwing it around the screen in their arms. So they do that now with the influencer shit, where like they'll open a video and you look at the fake website and the video somehow from an unknown channel, because it's always a dark web hacker that that does this. And he always like, I leaked this video of this guy I'm going to kill. If you all watch it, they die. And within seconds from an unknown YouTube account with a generic title like this guy dies, the video gets tens of millions of views. It's ridiculous. It's so dumb.
I could see that happening in real life though, if it was like posted like 4chan or something and then it made its way to Reddit, maybe.
Yeah, but it usually gets thousands.
That still at least would take like an hour. I'm talking about they open the website, watch it get posted, and look at the view count, and it's immediately skyrocketing to like 30 million views.
My other favorite one of that is that whenever they try to point out how evil and fucked up and messed up and hateful the comments are, and then they pop up the bubbles on screen, it's always like, lol, you suck.
Yeah.
Like, that's hateful.
The comments are always...
That's the most anodyne, like, timid stuff somebody could say, let alone say on, like, a snuff porn
friendly
site.
The fucking comments are the funniest thing ever. They'll open the dark web video, and they're like, look at these people. They actually like this. This is insane. And you read the comments and it's just like, you should kill her. You should beat her up. Cut her head off. Dip her in acid. And the names are like Big Gamer 420, Supreme Commander, Dark Killer XXX. Like the funniest shit known to man every time.
The Avengers of cyberbullies.
Yeah. It's shit you'd read in YouTube comments. Like it's just nothing. It's so funny. Oh, I love those movies. I need to watch more.
But yeah, they're very bad, Jackson. You should sit down and watch some of them. Here's one. Deathstream came out 2 years ago. Sean is a disgraced content creator who lost both sponsors and fans to a controversial video. It seems like his last hope is to put on a live stream in a haunted house known as the Death Manor, said to be haunted by the ghost of a dead heiress with an interest in poetry and the occult. Blah, blah, blah goes on. You get the idea. And just this dweeb with a GoPro on his head and the chat bubbles on screen.
I suppose it makes sense though, right? Because like, aren't all kids like their number one career path that they want to go for is like influencer?
Yep.
And it has
in America.
So this is who this is for. This is basically just, you guys remember when one of the Paul brothers went into that Japanese suicide forest and he soy-faced at a corpse that was just dangling from a tree, and it was like, oh my god, there's a tree. I think he's dead. They took that and made movies out of that concept. Basically, this douchebag goes to a haunted place and sees corpses, and that's it.
But he
and
also
people
has
watch
a
that
camera
shit.
and an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The show, I found the show. It is called Clickbait. It's 3 years old, so maybe at the beginning of this trend, but it's literally a dude holds up a sign and it's like, at 5 million views, I die. And they're all like, oh no. It's everywhere. It's just everywhere, man. These movies are everywhere now.
Okay. Here's a hypothetical. IRL. If you were sent a video and it had the title, if this hits 5 million views, this person dies, would you click on the video?
No.
I gotta be honest, I would just ignore it. I'd think it was nothing. It was just bullshit made by a 12-year-old. I'd go, who cares?
Don't click this video at 3 a.m. in the dark. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Delete. Spam.
Everyone knows, and that's the other funny thing about these movies and TV series. Everyone knows that if a video like that was made, it would get 7 views. No one would find it. No one would ever watch it. They'd ignore it. Yeah, right. Okay, bullshit.
Imagine an actual like demon on YouTube struggling to get views. Guys, YouTube ads
I just can't reach these kids. I can't get to them to consume their souls. I don't know why I'm not popping off.
Please subscribe.
He like pays money for some bot farms as well, defeating the point. He just bots the views.
Just kills a bunch of bots.
I think Kaya just predicted the next like slice of life anime. It's a demon from hell who's trying to be a VTuber and influencer, but she doesn't know how to reach the children, the kids. That's a really good idea for a fucking anime.
Yeah, imagine what would happen today to the girl from Ring. Like, nobody watches VHS. What is she gonna do? Go on YouTube? She can't be everywhere at once, even if like 10 people watch the fucking thing. The whole genre is fucking dumb.
Who knew that beating that ancient curse was just waiting it out? Because now who the fuck is gonna watch a VHS tape like that except maybe one person a year who's an enthusiast? Beyond that, she's done. It's over. Curse lifter.
Yeah.
She only attacks hipsters and collectors. She doesn't attack anyone else.
Aw.
Oh man, do you think that someone in that movie would digitize the ring and put the tape on YouTube, and then she would have to attack like 2 billion people at once?
Yeah, would that even
She's very
work?
busy.
Or does it have to be VHS?
Yeah.
Does digitizing it work? Which format? Like WebM, MP4? Which one can you
Whoa.
play? Which one works with the demon?
Could you digitize it and put it on a phone, and then have a really tiny Sadako come out of your phone, and you have a cutesy little curse woman? And you can like do stuff with her and play like little dress up and put her in a dollhouse. That'd be cute.
Make her
It'd be
your
adorable.
she could be your Steam Deck intro video. This is why just hauntings and technology doesn't mix. It's not cool anymore when it's on a computer.
Yeah, it immediately dates your movie.
It does, and it's not cool now. But back then, that stuff was cool. Like during the time period of the Ring,
Right.
That was scary. So it's still
No, back then for sure. But the problem is it dates your movie because it's always going to be out of date or inefficient or something's going to happen to it. It just it has a time
dated.
limit on it.
And also,
Yeah, everything does that.
There's a big difference between I found this analog like tape recorder and it was recorded the murder of a child and now it's haunting the tape. Versus, I downloaded an MP3 file that's haunted. That's so lame.
Yeah.
Just delete it. It would get caught by your antivirus. What are you talking about?
Look at analog horror in general for a good example. A big part of that aesthetic is, listen to how creepy it sounds or how bad the video quality is. Like, that's just how it was back then. Things had an analog tape decky audio sound, or VHS tapes would degrade over time and have these weird artifacts. But to a lot of kids growing up now, they have no concept of that, and they just think that that's like a scary aesthetic. It's just part of what things really looked like back then, rather than us just going, that would happen every now and then. It wasn't scary. It just was. But they think it's like a creepy thing, you know?
That too. It just doesn't work when you're watching Unfriended and there's like a 4K video feed of a blender floating. It just looks goofy. I'm not scared of this. It just looks dumb.
This sounds amazing. I think when you pitched it as they get haunted by a Skype demon, I knew I wanted to watch it.
Dude, they made like four of those
movie
too.
is an actual recommendation.
Yeah.
That first movie is
I remember
funny.
the trailers
It's
for it.
Actually a funny movie. So dumb. Andrew, before we continue though, did you want to tell me about how to get my body in prime condition?
Oh my God, we've been going
For
for
haunting.
40 minutes and I completely forgot. Oh, Jesus.
That's how you know it's good.
Jackson. Yeah, this is a real good episode. Okay, so if you're stuck in the back rooms of the casinos of Guatemala and you're being attacked by a Skype demon on your digitized VHS tape, you're going to need to be in shape. You're going to need to run through that horror maze so you can get out. You're going to need to do some crunches so you can maybe hide in the ceiling. I don't know how they escape the back rooms because I'm old, but I'm not too old to work out. Fitbod is like having your own personal trainer, but even better. It is cheaper, works anywhere on the go, takes note of what equipment you have available to, and lets you customize your plan how you see fit. I use Fitbod pretty regularly, and I've always found that the best thing about it is that you can substitute workouts for what you want. Let's say you go to the gym and you're like me, you're incredibly strong and big and handsome, but you play guitar, and every now and then, because you play guitar and all the ladies want to have sex with you, you go, ow, my shoulder hurts, it's chugging too hard. I don't want to do any shoulder lifts. And the app will literally let you just swap in there and pick different exercises that work similar muscles, but do different ranges of motion, different pieces of equipment. It's extremely convenient. And in this day and age, you don't want an app unless it's convenient. And Fitbod makes working out convenient. They'll give you a schedule on how often to work out. They'll look at your body type and tell you how hard you should go. You can figure out from top to bottom everything that you will need in a workout routine, and Fitbod will adapt to you and your schedule. Take it from me who uses it. That's my personal endorsement. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app for free at fitbod.me/official. That's fitbod.me/official. So you are now strong. You are now handsome. You are now ready to run 2 marathons in one day. But before you do that, is your internet secure? Are you sure?
It's haunted.
Well, if you don't have ExpressVPN, it's probably not. It's probably haunted. You're going to get attacked by a Skype demon. No one wants that. If you are like us on the official podcast, you know that you literally, and I'm not joking, needed ExpressVPN to make this show possible for a very long time. I won't name names and I won't drop circumstances, but let's just say that there are countries out there that don't want you to see what's on the internet or put things on the internet. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We all use ExpressVPN, and this show literally would not have happened without it. But you out there, most of you probably just want it for the entertainment convenience factor, which is this. You can change your internet location to over 100 different locations. So now you will get all the full catalogs of streaming services: Disney Plus, Hulu, Max, BBC iPlayer, etc., etc., etc. I think the one that they keep permanently is the Lord of the Rings trilogy is always available on New Zealand Netflix. I remember I checked that out a long time ago, but if it's still there, watch those. If you have not seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you are missing out on three of the greatest, not even movies, but crowning achievements in human history. Those things are perfect. Either way, million and one things. I know Japanese Netflix has a bunch of anime that you can't get in America. It's just all sorts of incredible features to check out with ExpressVPN. And on top of that, you get internet privacy, security. It's just a good thing to have. That was our personal endorsement. If you want to use ExpressVPN super fast, it's not going to hurt your buffering, encrypt your data, work on any device, you can stop missing out on great TV and get thousands of new shows with ExpressVPN. You will also get 3 extra months for free when you use the special link expressvpn.com/official. That's expressvpn.com/official. Get a 3-month extra free package, completely free, expressvpn.com/official.
Thank you, ExpressVPN.
Yes.
Man. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Scary movies, right?
Yeah, influencer movies and analog horror, things like that.
Yeah.
We can move on, though, if you have a topic. Mine was the clickbait movie, so I'm good.
Kyle, did you have anything?
I wanted to give you first dibs. I mean, I have the DoorDash thing, which I thought was funny this past week on social media. Have you guys seen this discourse around DoorDash?
No, I haven't.
No? Well, somebody said...
No.
I don't think so.
I don't even remember
Yes, I do remember.
How it exactly started, but somebody said, hey, DoorDash is getting expensive. And then somebody else said, well, you shouldn't DoorDash every single day anyway. And this started a wildfire of discourse because apparently that take is ableist and bigot, just discriminatory.
Oh, no.
Because some people cannot make heated meals. Well, you see, I guess heating up microwave dinners at home is too difficult for disabled people, and so is cooking, obviously. Let's see.
So did disabled people just not eat before DoorDash existed, like 3 years ago?
Yeah, did they just starve to death in their homes, trapped in an iron prison? Like, what's the argument here?
Did I not send you that tweet?
Well, I don't want to. Maybe after the show, but...
I don't know. You send me a lot of stuff.
I do send you a lot of stuff back and forth. Hold on.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing the general vibe of the arguments for this were that DoorDash, like getting DoorDash every day is like just extremely lazy, and people are being very lazy by ordering DoorDash, and it's very expensive for no reason. Like,
I mean, it is definitely a lazy option for a lot of people because they don't cook.
Sure.
Yeah,
of course it's easy.
People DoorDashing from like the store across the road, it would literally take them like 2 minutes just to walk downstairs and across the road. But they get someone else to do it for them, which, yeah, to be fair, that is like ridiculously lazy. But I don't know anything.
You
about
don't
this,
know how lazy they are. And a lot of people thought, oh, this is ironic, right? People are just fucking around. But no, the people that are defending this, they would actually get very, very angry at you. And they're not joke accounts. These are accounts that are a decade old with like 200,000 tweets, falling in line with just the losers of Twitter. This person says, as someone who somewhat regularly eats microwaved frozen meals, I can tell you it involves much more than just taking something out of the freezer and putting it in the microwave for a few minutes.
No, it doesn't. That's literally all it is. Oh my God.
There's getting the box open firstly, which is often harder than it should be. And Someone with hand pain or dexterity issues may not be able to get past that step. Then there's reading and understanding the directions, which, especially when I'm tired, is difficult enough for me. Usually the directions include things like puncturing a plastic cover or peeling it, partly or completely back, or puncturing and then microwaving a bit, and then peeling and then stirring part of all of the food, and then more microwaving.
This person deserves to starve to death. I'm just going to announce that on the air. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God.
Maybe if they weren't so fucking miserable, they would have people around to help them out.
They sound helpless, like just pathetically helpless. Like if this person was a quadriplegic, bedridden forever and is doing this with their mouth only, fine. I get it. It's difficult for them. But this is like a 6-year-old could do this. Not even. Children can do this. Children know to pull stuff out of the fridge, get a chair and put it in front of the microwave and put it in the microwave. They're like, this guy's pathetic.
No, they're saying that it hurts sometimes to pierce the plastic on top of the meal with the fork.
Using your hands hurts. You're right.
Well, these are hyper
painful to use your hands.
What I've learned from this discourse is that there's so many people out there who claim that they are just too disabled to even lift their hands to, stab a piece of plastic with their fork.
And yet they could type a comment on Twitter. Sure.
Right, and complain nonstop and write like these fucking 5,000 word essays on why you're a racist for not for telling people not to DoorDash every day.
Maybe they're using voice to text or something like that. We don't know for sure. Maybe they are completely bedridden and can't move, and the DoorDash person has to bring the meal into their fucking room and feed them for them.
If you are in that scenario, then you shouldn't be DoorDashing at all. You need to spend your money and time on fixing your life to where you're not in that mindset.
No, douchebag, if fucking Nazi shut. You should be spending your money on fixing their lives, you fucking idiots. They, of course, want the governments to use their resources to, I guess, have like a caretaker mommy to come in and cook them nuggies every day. I don't know. Another person says, in case you didn't know, current DoorDash discourse was explicitly made to mock a disabled person's severe histamine intolerance via MCAS, which 1 in 6 people had pre-COVID, so common chronic illness.
MCAS?
I have no idea what that is. So they can't eat leftovers.
That's a flight system in the Boeing planes that we just covered on Red Thread. That was the flight system that sent the planes down.
Apparently, it gives you an allergy to leftovers. So this person says histamine intolerance, so they can't eat leftovers because other disabilities prevent them from cooking every day. This was another one of the excuses as well. Okay, if I'm going to cook at home, I always need fresh ingredients, and that is impossible. It's untenable. How am I always going to get one fresh slice of lettuce, one fresh slice of tomato, fresh baked bread? It's impossible. Therefore, I need to go and DoorDash from Subway.
Yeah. No, I understand. If only there was a place, and maybe someone should invent this, there was a place where you could go and purchase fresh vegetables and bread and other foodstuffs like that, and it would be open 7 days a week. But until we invent something like that, I totally get this person's point.
They can't open a plastic film on top of fucking frozen meals. They're not fucking going outside to the grocery stores.
What grocery store? Jackson, you're a genius. That's amazing. I've never heard of such a thing.
A store where you get groceries.
If you want to order DoorDash 3 times a day, go for it. Even if it's from across the road. That's what the service exists for. That's fine. Stop making excuses for your laziness, though. Just accept the fact that you're lazy. Just say you're lazy and just own it.
It seems to me one of the arguments they might have maybe is, stop paying for all this expensive stuff because, like, it makes food less affordable because it encourages that. I don't know, but the people on a lower income are not going to pay for delivery food anyway. They're going to buy cheaper stuff at the grocery store. So I don't in any way see how they have any argument on this. It just makes no sense.
Food is getting more expensive, but there's always going to be a market for cheap food as well. Like, bad for you food, but still cheap. So there's always
no matter how prevalent delivery gets, it's never going to outweigh people getting their own food or cooking their own. Like it's never going to overtake that.
Wait, if this was the main thrust of your issue, you could just get your groceries delivered to the door anyway.
That too.
Yeah.
Wait, good point. You can just Walmart your groceries to your doorstep. Well, again, they would have to get out of bed though.
Yeah, the fucking grocery stores usually have like Instacart and shit.
The DoorDash person's not bringing the meal in and feeding them directly. There's
No, wait,
got to
yeah,
be some
hang on.
level.
You're 100% right. They have no argument whatsoever, because if their whole thing is, well, I need delivery food because of stupid reason XYZ, you can order delivery from grocery stores. They have like Instacart and shit. They will bring you whatever you want right to your door, fresh every day.
Yeah, but they have to
cheaper.
They have to cook it then. Their argument is going to move to, well, then I have to cook the food, and I can't cook the food because I'm disabled and allergic to pollen or something. So then they'll move on to
my God.
DoorDash.
One person says,
my head hurts.
Paul says, just walked to McDonald's, ordered food, and literally ate it there. It was hot and fresh and cheap, unlike delivery. Why aren't more people doing this? ? Kind of a food hack. And then somebody quote tweeted saying, they're quoting this in a sarcastic voice, I'm a white man who has no issue walking, who happened to live walking distance from a McDonald's, who had time to walk, and I'm unconcerned about COVID, so I ate inside the restaurant. I cannot comprehend an experience outside of mine. In a mocking tone.
Oh my God. Okay. We get
Kai
flack
can say that,
on
by
the
the way.
show
He's not
every
white.
now and then.
He's not white.
We get
Kai's
flack
not
on the
white.
show every now and then for being negative and very overly harshly critical on things. Fine, fair.
I'm not negative at all.
I can't imagine being
funny.
that miserable. Oh my God, that's like a new level. Like we're miserable people, but Jesus Christ, that is a level of profound suffering I've never seen before.
I mean, I know Kaya does probably, but I immediately just tune out anything the person's going to say if the starting of the sentence is, I am a white man, like in quotes.
Yeah, because you're a white man, Jackson, you
yeah.
racist.
Well, Kaya's not white. We've got diversity here. We're
thank
allowed
God.
to talk about stuff like this. Also,
Kaya, give us the pass.
profile picture of the person that posted that is a white woman.
Yeah. No, they just dunk on themselves.
And
of course you zone it out.
It just shows how stupid these people are. One of the problems of poverty-stricken regions is the way that food prices often work out is the families can only afford to eat fast food and lower quality food because it's cheaper than getting shit like actual restaurants or grocery stores. There's a whole bunch of exposés where they're like, look how many fucking McDonald's and Popeyes and all this shit are in the ghetto because their prices, if you add it to the local grocery store for fresh food, is cheaper. That person is in such a bubble, in such a reverse double whammy headspace that they don't even realize that they're saying the complete opposite of what's true. Jesus Christ.
I like this
they're
one.
Stupid.
Jacob says, the dunking on disabled people for using DoorDash is a proxy eugenics discourse. It's hard not to engage in it, but may be helpful to remember the debate isn't really about what ableist leftists are claiming it is. So it's eugenics now. If you say don't DoorDash every single day, a cup of course. Coffee and bagels.
What's the time to Hitler on this thread? How long until someone was accused of being a Nazi or Hitler or something?
DoorDash is Nazi technology. That's what they were researching.
It was developed by the Germans to make us weak.
Another woman is blaming social anxiety. Doesn't it take more like social interaction to get a delivery? Because you actually have to be like, hey, yeah, thank you, have a nice one. Whereas going to the grocery store, you just self-check out.
No. Now, Kaya, I know it's really socially nerve-wracking to go to your local grocery store and literally without saying a word to anyone, pick stuff off the shelf and then maybe, and this is a maybe, have to say, hi, how are you to the cashier and then leave without talking to anyone. I know that's a lot. But DoorDash solves all of that.
It's so minuscule. Like you can go to the grocery store without socializing at all. They have self checkouts and stuff like that, obviously. But
no, that too. Self checkouts. Yeah.
I still like. There's even less with like DoorDash. That's just a fact. Like you can just get the DoorDash delivered to your door. You don't have to even see the person.
That's true. I guess you can just tell them to leave, like drop it off and leave.
Yeah, but at what level are we gonna like tolerate it? You know, like obviously there are reasons delivery food is good. There are plenty of reasons, but you know, you kind of just have to learn to at least do the minimum bare necessary things to live and function. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, but all I was saying is that like at least let's be honest about that. I guess that fact point. Like I don't want to misconstrue arguments or whatever. Like To be fair,
That's
there
fair.
is there is less socialization with DoorDash. I don't think it's like a valid reason in most places.
And there are lots of great reasons to support delivery and the ease of it now. Like if people are sick, like whenever I get a cold now, I don't ever go out. I deliver all my food now because it's so easy. And I appreciate that I'm not going to be giving people a cold or the flu or what the fuck ever. There's a lot of great things, but I think it comes down to if you can't even go to a store and buy things for yourself, you got to really analyze why. And sometimes the reasons aren't good. They're things that you should work on and improve and get better at. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you're in self-checkout and you accidentally double scan an item or something, and then you have to raise your hand and flag one of the staff. And that is nerve-wracking. You wouldn't understand.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's fair. That's terrible.
To be fair, that happens so much over here. I hate that fucking shit. It doesn't make me still go to the grocery store or anything, but I fucking hate it. It's so annoying.
I know. Those machines are so fucking annoying.
They're so useless.
They also, typically the people working those also fucking hate servicing them. I remember a long time ago, I went to Walmart and I was getting compressed air because I was building a computer. And they have to check ID on it because it's you can inhale it or what the fuck ever. And it accidentally popped that up for every single one.
Wait, what?
So the first time the woman came over to look at my ID or even just go, "Oh, you're good," who cares? I scanned the next one and it did it again. And the woman working there loudly goes, "I'm supposed to be on break, god damn it!" And then started scanning all of them at once.
But this fucking idiot needs his compressed air check so he doesn't fucking consume it like an idiot. I need to check his ID to make sure he's of the legal age to buy compressed air.
Show ID for compressed air.
Because it's one of those cans that I guess people can huff it. I honestly couldn't tell you, but it's on that list of make sure that they're over 18.
But you can just order it on Amazon without ID.
Inhaling it. Yeah.
This was a long time. Yeah, this was a long time ago, so I don't know if they've changed it, but I remember that happening.
That's so weird. But again, with the DoorDash thing, I think if you had that level of issue where DoorDash was that necessary and you literally couldn't go to the grocery store, you couldn't pierce microwavable meals or whatever, you couldn't hold a fork to pierce it. Then I think you would need someone. You would need an assistant or whatever, a helper or whatever, a full-time helper, just in order to survive. Yeah. Which then they could get the groceries and stuff.
If you're I'm too stupid to read an instruction that says take this and put it in the microwave and press the microwave button. Well, first of all, you need a government-assigned tart wrangler. You need to be a ward of the state. You should not be voting. You should never say anything. It's fine. We can commit you. We have at least we used to have institutions for people like you. But why are you on Twitter yelling at people who actually can cook? That it's a privilege that you can cook.
It's people attacking the wrong problems. If they're frustrated at something related to this or they're offended because I like DoorDash and you shouldn't shit on it. Whatever, but don't attack people for their criticisms of it like that. You're just going to look like a fucking idiot. It's just stupid.
Just own up to the fact that you're lazy. It's fine. You can just be I use DoorDash 3 times a day because I don't want to cook and I've got the money available to spend on DoorDash.
It would be a whole different thing if they were honest. Yes, if they just said, "Look, I'm a munchie. All the fucking symptoms I have are made up. I want a government-paid employee to deliver my groceries, cook for me, and then make the airplane sounds as it goes, open your mouth, here comes the plane." And then I eat and I poo, and then I poo in my diapers, and they wipe my ass, and that's how I live. Fine, whatever.
To be fair, that sounds delightful. I kind of want that. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being lazy and accepting what's your circumstances. Sometimes it's better to do it. If you're caring for someone who can't leave the house and you just want to have food for them, or if you're working at your office and you want to keep being productive and have the food brought to you, there's a ton of circumstances where it's totally fine. Yeah, you're spending more money. Yeah, this, yeah, that. Who cares? In those circumstances, great. Go nuts. You made it the right choice.
You're paying extra for the convenience. That's
exactly.
That's
100%. You're paying extra for convenience. And if you have a mental choice or a circumstance that means it's a good thing or you're okay with it, that's it. That's where it ends. But for some reason, everything in this day and age, because the internet is personal. It's all personal. People take it personally, personal attacks. So when someone says, hey, maybe you shouldn't order delivery all the fucking time, people go, well, I have 1,001 reasons I should, and you're going to hear them all. And it's like, okay, sounds
And it's
good.
always wrapped up in this, like, the excuses are always wrapped in the self-care lingo of, well, because I have neurotic tendencies and have anxiety, this is just what's best for me. Well, sometimes what's good for you, sometimes real self-care is actually making yourself uncomfortable and going to the grocery
Yep,
store
true.
or making that phone call that you have been avoiding.
Very
making.
true.
It's good for you. You shouldn't just avoid the plan. It's like an agoraphobe.
With the convenience factor these days, there's too many people who just don't take the initiative to prepare if they don't have it. A very good example I've seen is people I've talked to where if they don't have internet, they just don't know what to do. They're just completely bored and they're like, what the fuck do we do? Ah, shit. And they kind of just fumble around until it comes back. You know, you would think you don't at least like, I don't know, have something downloaded if you don't have internet, or maybe you have a book, like a hardcover book, or people just don't think about these things.
That goes to the even deeper root issue of people are so uncomfortable with silence. Like if their phone is dead,
That too.
people actually fucking panic of, oh fuck, 10 seconds of my own thoughts?
Yeah,
Make it stop, make it stop.
that too. Yeah.
We would
Oh,
all
wow.
prefer. I think like most people would prefer to be the zombies at the gambling machines. They don't want that kind. They don't
they wanna
want
zone
any
it out.
brain activity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody
totally
in chat
agree.
had brought up Boogie because during the documentary, every single meal he ate was some sort of fast food thing. Even though he constantly denied it and said, yeah, no, we cook a lot. So it's just today we're having pizza. Or for breakfast, yeah, that was, KFC, but
Yeah.
that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, but
And
see,
then-
that's another example of this situation where if you just said I'm fucking lazy and you know
Yeah.
fat or whatever,
Yeah.
and I just like this food, then fine. That's the real reason. But he would always wrap it up in these excuses like, well, actually, going to Chick-fil-A, I could save money by ordering the $12 worth of 12 nuggets or whatever, and that feeds 3 people, you see. And there was all these excuses about how, like, he would just wrap it all up in like excuses that this was the only way forward for him, or this was the
Yeah.
only option that he had available to him. When that's not true at all. You're just lazy.
The scene that stuck out in my head every single time we bring that back or talk about it is when he's having his friends over for Magic the Gathering night, and he goes, well, I gotta order pizza. If they're coming here, we're doing Magic, I've got to order pizza for everyone. And then, of course, while we're waiting for the pizza, they're going to want snacks. So I've got to have this repertoire of snacks. Like, no, you don't, man. You could have other people cover it, or people could bring food, have a potluck, or there's 1,000 other options.
people can't bring food. You guys remember that moment where he sat down all of his fat friends and he said, okay, look, fellas, I have to penny pinch a little, so from now on, I can't order 5 mega deluxe blimp-sized pizzas every single weekend. And they looked at him like, then why would we come? That's like the only reason. You feed us for free.
It's like a food shelter or whatever it's called.
Fair. I guess for Boogie specifically, that is a problem. But there's plenty of people these days where they just don't cook because everything's too convenient. And then when
Yeah,
they're
of
forced to
course.
think about it, like, oh, I should save money, or, you know, I have to cook something, they just can't, you know? They just can't.
Doesn't he have a live-in maid now? What does the girl do all day?
He's got that
Rake his
fucking
leaves, I guess.
21-year-old girlfriend who he makes mow the lawn every day or whatever. Like, she's a slave,
Model what?
basically.
And she's like
I
a
mow
third
the
of
lawn.
his size, and she's the one pushing the big lawnmower.
Yeah,
That's
he's
some
the
of
one that-
funniest shots.
He sends her out to mow the lawn and stuff like that, like do the housework and stuff, which is just so gross. But also, he's got like 2 roommates apparently that live there rent-free, and I don't know what
Oh.
they do.
Rent-free.
Exploit
Okay, what's the
him,
latest
I
goss
guess.
on him, Jackson? Is there anything new, funny?
No,
that's
I don't
happened?
know. No, I think her and him, I mean Boogie and the girlfriend, were gonna break up for a bit. She cheated on him. It seems like a few weeks ago. She was like messaging some
I can't believe that. No
fat
way.
guy in
How
Vegas.
shocking.
I don't know. There's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
It's like it's somewhat interesting, but also I don't really feel like
Like
going
cheating,
over
as in
it.
she actually
just-
went out and fucked someone, or she was messaging someone? What are
No,
we
she
talking
was
about?
like messaging, like she was like sexting him basically,
Mm.
and Boogie found out live on the Lolcow podcast. But I don't know how much of that's true because it's all like Keemstarred up. It's all on that
Yeah.
show, so who knows?
That's what I thought too. It's okay. Keemstar's involved. This is even if it is true, it's probably exaggerated.
Yeah,
I don't know if it is even true. I don't know.
And then there was an argument that me and Boogie had on Twitter the other. It might have been a week
you were
ago
having
by this point.
Yeah, Jackson sent me a Twitter link to look what this retard is saying, and I opened the link, and it was like you were having an actual back and forth with this doofus. I
wasn't really I wasn't even arguing. I was just asking questions.
Yeah, but he got argumentative because he kept saying, he said passive aggressive shit like, well, millionaires like Jackson here wouldn't understand what the little guys like me have to go through. It's like, wait a minute. Should I be asking Jackson for money? Since when is he a fucking multimillionaire?
Also, he would have been a millionaire if he fucking kept his money instead of spending it on hookers. So, joke's on him.
Too. Yeah.
You can't use that against me. Anyway, yeah, so we were having an argument about like the timeline because he was, remember that period where he was e-begging online in videos, like desperately begging people for money. And now in that video he never mentioned his cancer or anything like that, but then later on he's like kind of gaslighting or revisionist historying it, like he's saying that video was made because he had cancer, and like he was asking money because he had cancer and he wanted money for the cancer treatment, and then he was like turning it on me and trying to make me feel guilty. He's like, you wouldn't. Why would you belittle a person with cancer for asking for money for their cancer treatment? That's kind of fucked up, Jackson. Like, you didn't mention the cancer in the fucking video where you were begging for the money. you were asking for money because you had spent it all on hookers, and because you had like done dumb shit with it. Like, there was nothing to do with cancer. You just wanted money from your fans. You didn't announce your cancer for like a month after that or so. And he was like, continuing on with his manipulation stuff like that. And then he blocked me again. So I have been
the
denied.
cycle continues.
Yeah. Wait, what did he say on Twitter? He sent me a message before he blocked me. I don't know if I should say it or not.
Say it.
Oh, never mind. It wasn't anything interesting. He's just saying, because I replied to a profile, like another Twitter user who had his ex-wife as their profile picture. And so he's in my DMs trying to like say, hey man, our differences aside, but maybe don't respond to the guy who set up an account to harass my ex-wife, which is like, they're not harassing your ex-wife. They're harassing you. That's just a profile picture of your ex-wife. But yeah, he was in my DMs trying to manipulate me there too, which is great. Love Boogie.
That's your fucking fault.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna reply to whoever I want to reply to. Fuck you, Boogie.
Also, you don't put their fucking photos up online. Lolcows never fucking change. They will say shit like, "Oh, you're harassing my wife," and then they get a girlfriend, and immediately the first thing they do is tweet out her fucking face all over the place. If you don't want your family members harassed, don't put them on the internet. Assholes are gonna do it.
So you guys thought I was gonna be a virgin forever and say I'm always lonely and single. Well, here's my girlfriend, and she happens to live at this address, and here's her PIN number. So take that. That means she's real.
Yes.
Like they don't even get how much they give out to people for free, how much info they just feed them. You know?
Yeah, like with his current girlfriend is literally just a trophy girlfriend. It's so gross. Like he just wheels her out onto the podcast whenever he sees fit. And he's got her in like advertisement videos, and like they're wearing cosplay, like Jabba the Hutt and Princess Leia cosplay stuff. It's so gross.
She cosplays as Jabba the Hutt, and he's Princess Leia. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy. Yeah, he's been talking about
role reversal.
There it is.
God, there's the photo. So in one of the most recent Local Live podcast episodes, Boogie was talking about making an OnlyFans. Like he was like floating the idea of making an OnlyFans.
He's always floating that
like
idea.
That.
Even before.
Yeah, he loves. He's such a degenerate, man. So gross. Anyway,
very cool. Well, Jackson, thank you again for the regular Boogie Hour. We'll see.
I didn't want to bring it up. Who brought it up?
Come in.
I didn't. That wasn't me. Someone else.
I prompted him.
You brought it up through. You brought it up through and like suggestion and influence. You were like, "Oh God, I hope they bring up Boogie. I'm ready. I'm waiting."
I did it through pure willpower. Like it's on my vision board at the moment.
Yeah, I don't like how you barged.
You use the force. You use the voice. Your Boogie is a killing word.
Andrew, before we wrap up, I wanted to hear what this stuff about Payday 3 is, because you posted that.
Oh, so I don't know much details about it, but Payday 3 is like the laughing stock of Steam and the gaming community right now. So I'm going to go right now, and I'm going to type Payday 3 into Steam, and they are sitting at a very rare, unprecedented rating of overwhelmingly negative, which means currently right now 16% of people gave it a positive review. So it has an 84% negative review rating. And if you read the reviews, it's astonishing. They just released nothing and tried to call it a sequel. It's like a completely unfinished, not working, nothing video game with nothing in it whatsoever. And they went, oh, it's Payday 3. It's here. And it's just not even a beta. It's just nothing. It's crazy.
I heard that like 30 times more people are still playing Payday 2 compared to Payday 3.
Payday 3, I believe, for a couple days dropped down to literally like 5 players, which for a well-established franchise sequel is amazing. You like have to try to get player counts that low.
So is it just a content thing? Like it's just there's not enough content? Or is it
no, it just doesn't even work. So if you read through the reviews, they say like the ready up button is broken, the voice chat is broken, the game does not work, there is no content whatsoever. Like reviews over and over and over saying this game stole my money. Like apparently there's just no game. It's just nothing. There's just nothing to do.
That's so funny. Video games releasing this state are just they're so nice.
So how
I love when they release in this state. Fucking laziness. Who knows?
I don't know. If this was a big old hype factory, like new games come out and they're, swindles or over-promise, under-delivered, like happens all the time. But they either A, slink away into the darkness, never heard again, or B, they over time, they get better, they add stuff, they fix things, they're, et cetera, et cetera. But with Payday 3, Payday 2 was a gigantic, hugely successful indie shooter for the last like 10 years. It's old and it's just never lost steam and people love it and it's got a big community. And for them to bungle this launch this bad is downright impressive. It's just actually fucking impressive. Giancarlo Esposito was in Payday 2. He was one of the characters.
Doesn't Overwatch 2 also have overwhelmingly negative reviews now?
Yeah.
Possibly would have, but we have new news on the Overwatch front. So we had the Boogie Corner with Jackson. Now it's time for Overwatch Sucks with Andrew. As of a few days ago, there's 2 things with Overwatch 2 I'd love to shit on. Number 1, Overwatch 2 has finally completely confirmed that single player is dead.
Yay, the entire reason they made this second game.
Yes, that campaign has been canceled and no longer has active development plans, meaning the reason they sold and developed a sequel to Overwatch has now been removed entirely and will not be happening. So Overwatch 2 is a big update that you're forced to pay if you want to keep playing Overwatch.
It was a full retail price, and then just not delivering the entire reason that people bought the game. That's so far.
Yep, for a lot of people. And number 2, and another reason we should shit on Overwatch forever, they had a crossover pack with Cowboy Bebop. And Cowboy Bebop, we've talked about it, incredible anime, had that misstep of a live action, but still, people really love it, respected series, extremely popular. So Overwatch says, we are now doing a crossover skin pack. We have a Spike skin, we have a Jet Black skin, we have Ed, we have the characters in the game as like skins and like themes and shit, and it's cool. And they made a trailer. Did you guys happen to watch the reveal trailer for that?
No.
Okay, so it's amazing. It is incredibly well animated. It's faithful to the Cowboy Bebop anime. It's set to the music. It is perfect.
So you're not being ironic. It's actually good.
No, I'm not being ironic. They did it. They knocked it out of the fucking park. If you watch the Cowboy Bebop crossover reveal trailer for Overwatch, it's flawless. It's exciting, well made, faithful to the Cowboy Bebop art style and series. It is perfect. It is how they should have done it from top to bottom. But then they finally released the content, and it is lazy color swaps of already existing models on characters, and that's it. That's all it is.
Why wouldn't you make bespoke models if you're going through all this
I
effort?
don't know, but it's just terrible low effort skins, and there's like 3 of them, and that's it. And they go, "Okay, here's your cowboy pack. We're done."
How does that happen when a company makes so much money off of a game and then they completely start sucking ass? Does everyone just start doing drugs at the company?
It's
oh no, but it's so
it's
bad.
upper management. There's the people making the decisions just to like squeeze as much money out as possible with the minimum amount of effort.
Yeah,
I guess, but it still doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because if you do a good, I've always said this, if you do a good job and the content is great, then you're going to make more money than if it's shit and you've ruined your reputation. Like, why wouldn't you just invest in making the good quality content?
For some reason, they just care about cash grabs more than long-term player investment.
It's not a cash grab because I feel like you'd make more money if it's good.
Yeah.
And if it's priced fairly. But I don't know. I guess they have numbers that say otherwise.
That contradict reality, yeah.
And
run the IP into the ground.
Yeah. It's just they're just too big now. You know, they're desperate and scared to try to make their investments back when making these giant games, and it just turns into throw everything that they can. It's why every big game of the last decade has been every crossover ever. Oh, Call of Duty totally needs 80s action heroes and horror movie stars and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and it's like 1,001 things, and it's like all the same shit. Like Fortnite doing it, I guess I get, but every game is just trying to be Fortnite, where they go, let's buy every IP we can.
It's because it's Fortnite's entire identity in the first place is this crossover place. So it makes sense for that.
Magic the Gathering's another great example. They, a few years ago, started going, all right, we're going to do The Walking Dead. All right, now we're going to do Lord of the Rings. Now we're going to do Marvel superheroes. Now we're going to do Post Malone. Now we're going to do this, and they just keep doing it. And whether it works or not, I think depends on the game and the company, but it's just the way that they try to make their investment back. They bring in a property thinking it'll make guaranteed sales and just slap it in there with no rhyme or reason.
Mm-hmm.
I would never buy a cosmetic just because it's from a brand that I'm aware of or like. Like in Destiny, there was a Mass Effect pack or whatever, like Mass Effect cosmetics. Couldn't care less. Like, I love Mass Effect.
We joked back during the Game Awards. I remember joking about this on stream back when the Terminator was in 3 games. Do you guys remember during the Game Awards they announced him for 3 games, like Gears of War and then Mortal Kombat and then another game, and they were like, play as the Terminator, play as the Terminator. And we fucking joked, and I would say like, oh, the Terminator's going to be in every game now. You're going to see him in every single video game. But flash forward to now, that's what's happening. They just throw every franchise into every game, no matter whether it fits or not. They'll shoehorn it in however they have to.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop.
Because it's easy and some consumer out there will buy it. So
yeah.
whatever.
And the question becomes, how long till it's stale? Let's say you are a fan of the Terminator.
It's already stale.
But how long on an individual level, I mean? No, it definitely is. Definitely is. And trend-wise it is. But let's talk about the individual consumer. Imagine you're a big fan of the Terminator and you play Mortal Kombat. And you're like, oh, of course I'll buy the Terminator DLC. That's awesome. And then you play the Gears of War mobile game and you go, oh, yeah, I'll buy the Gears of War DLC. But then after 6 years... how long until you go, you know, I just don't want to buy the Terminator DLC anymore. I'm done. I'm good. Like, and they still just keep using the same characters over and over again.
Depends how good of a consumer you are. Have you been trained to obedience? Because then you'll keep buying it.
I'm not whipped enough. I'm sorry.
Do you not enjoy this big incestuous amorphous gray blob that every game has become?
Yeah.
Every game has everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love when games don't have identity and don't try to make things. They just do everything else that's already been done. It's great.
Since Jackson said obedient consumers, that reminded me of this headline by Forbes. New report shows streaming viewers warming to ad-supported content. They have been whipped.
Fucking God.
Shape.
Yeah, they're like dogs.
Streaming
they're like
subscribers
dogs.
have thoroughly turned into GIMP footstools. They will now open their mouths and get on their knees like good little boys and just accept paying God knows how much fucking money every month and still getting ads.
How long until we keep going back in time and it eventually becomes people demand, I hate choosing what I want to watch. How about I just pick
you just
like a
show it to
network and they show whatever they're going to show and I just watch that it's on? Let's do that. That sounds like a good idea.
So as a neurodivergent person with anxiety issues, I don't like subscribing to stuff. Like I have to get my credit card out of my wallet, and it's just, with my arthritis in my fingers.
Yeah, that might cut your fingers.
Right.
What if someone just came into my house and hooked up some sort of a cable to my TV, and then they gave me different channels I can tune into? And it could be ad supported. Like every 15 minutes they show ads for 10 minutes.
That would really help with your anxiety of having to choose shows and stuff. You wouldn't have to.
But after you're using your daily strength to warm up that microwave, can you lift the remote and hit the buttons? That's a lot.
That's true. Maybe it could randomly switch from channel to channel. Neuralink
there you go. Now we're thinking. Now you're thinking. It's the consumer culture, man. There's too many people out there who just watch what's on. They just watch things because they're new or they're on. They open Netflix or whatever and go, oh, look, here's a thing. Let's just watch it. Instead of sitting down and, choosing what they want, knowing what they want to see and getting invested in things. Because then you don't tolerate this kind of shit where you go, well, I got to see the newest thing. So it has ads. That's fine. I hate that shit.
I thought that shit died in like the early 2000s. The TV of, I'm going to turn it on and Die Hard is on. Oh, look, Die Hard is on. I would just think, who gives a shit? I don't feel like watching that right now. I feel like watching that later when I've made popcorn and all my friends are around. I don't want to see it now with ads. That's fucking retarded.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I watched something purely because it was on or it was the new thing. I'll join in on new stuff if it's exciting and I'm interested, but I don't do things just because they're the popular new thing. It just seems like so shallow and hollow to be, where you don't have developed interests and taste. You just kind of do what the next thing is. Just seems like it sucks.
I'm reading the article a bit, and in this case, it's because streaming is just getting so expensive. The majority of viewers are okay with ads if it lowers prices. When asked if they'd prefer to watch ads if it meant saving the cost of an extra coffee per month, 58% said yes. 62% of respondents preferred free ad-supported streaming over a paid subscription. You can already have that.
True. You fucking idiots, though. They're not going to fucking lower the cost of stuff. They're just going to keep raising the cost because you keep buying it.
Yeah.
I know.
Look at season passes in video games. It doesn't help offset any costs.
That's the messed up thing is
you'll pay for it.
You're able to trade with these media companies? You've proven time and time again that you are whipped and addicted to this shit. So you're going to get the worst of both worlds. You're going to get ads and you're going to get price increases every 6 months.
I know.
And you're going to accept
it. Tomorrow's I don't know, ad supported free or cheap tier is going to be the same cost as premium today. They're just going to keep hiking it up. You're going to keep receiving those emails. Hey, Amazon Prime prices are changing. So if you want to keep all the movies you bought and keep watching the shows you like, hand over your wallet, cuck. And they're going to be like, okay, sir, here.
Yeah. And they're getting smarter about making you do that too. I signed up for Adobe a while ago just because I had to. And I went, okay, if I don't connect to the cloud, I can't render on the GPU. And that's 5 times faster. So I'm doing it. And everything was okay.
What?
And it was fine. And then they go, but they locked out GPU rendering unless you have like a connection. Like you can try to get around it, but it's a huge pain in the ass.
Why? What even is the excuse for that? Hang on. What is the excuse? Like their reason?
Money? I guess. I don't fucking know, man. But I gave in, and I gave them my credit card, and they said, okay, fine, you win. I'm tired of constantly fighting with the pirates. Fuck. And then they sent me an email not long ago, and they said, hey, man, your introductory price is expiring after the end of this year, so we're going to raise it a little bit. And it's twice the fucking price. They just doubled it. It's amazing, and I have no choice because like my editor who I work with works with the Adobe suite, so I need to use it, and I'm fucked if I don't. So here we are. It just sucks.
At least it's tax deductible. That's how I rationalize it.
But think how many people use it and don't have that option, you know?
You can also tax deduct DaVinci Resolve. It's fine. It's just if only more people switched over, and I always hate it's the industry standard. I have to use it. Because it always just sounds
Yeah.
like, well, getting ass fucked is the industry standard. You have to get ass fucked. My friend is getting ass fucked, so if I want to get ass fucked with them, I have to get ass fucked. Great. Are we ever gonna is anyone gonna say I don't like getting ass fucked?
I love it.
You reminded me of the South Park episode where Kyle buys the iPad and he doesn't read the terms and services, and they can put him in a human centipede. Like, how long can we reach that point where these companies, just with price raising and terms and service, can just literally pull down your pants and fuck you in the ass, and you're not allowed to do anything?
I had not heard of the thing you just mentioned where they lock your own GPU behind a paywall or like an online DRM thing. I had not heard of that. That is insane.
Now, maybe it's just me not being good with figuring this shit out, but I quit Adobe subscription because I was like, fuck this is a ripoff, this is stupid. And I would get it through back channels, and it was working normally, but as soon as you go to render, the options to use the GPU are grayed out and not open. And as soon as I signed up for the subscription and connected to Adobe Cloud, they were all that opened back up. So I don't know if it's you have to be connected to their server to use it or something, but it was just a nightmare. It was horrendous.
Maybe it's just a buggy pirated version, maybe. That does seem...
I tried like 4 of them, man, and they all had that problem. So I just eventually gave up and said, this is not worth it. But I don't know. Whatever. I bit the bullet. I'm paying for it now. Fuck you, Adobe. You win. You win.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
Let's wrap with this. This is a question from, I want to hear your responses to this, from a patron member in our chat at the moment. Lily Theum, who says, yo, what do I do? My boyfriend said I'm even lucky to have him. How do I deal with that bullshit? Do you have any relationship advice, guys?
I'm gonna need a little more than that.
Was it like playful or?
No, I'm assuming not. I'm assuming it was like a boyfriend's trying to manipulate this person by saying, you're lucky to even have me. Which, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? That's a bad thing that he's saying. So
I mean, unless he's like a supermodel billionaire man with his own private jet.
Yeah, wait, how lucky are you?
Right.
Yeah, how lucky are you, actually?
The path I would take for that, regardless of those circumstances, obviously, weigh the worth of the relationship, is you should make yourself the other end of that statement. So you should make it so he's lucky to have you. So be the best person that you can be, put in all you can into yourself, self-improvement, self-care, make yourself as good as you can. And then it'll really give you an eye-opening lesson on, wow, do I really need to be with this person? Are they really just saying shitty things and I don't need them? Or maybe, there is something that you can improve on. But I think the place to start would be look at yourself and answer, is this person being a dick?
Yeah, you should always be improving yourself in general. That's something for everyone. Like, you should always be working on yourself.
Of course.
Self-identifying flaws.
Of course. But a lot of people in relationships, I'm not at all saying this is what's going on, but a lot of people in relationships get complacent.
Get comfortable. Yeah.
And there becomes this level of they don't care for themselves enough now that they have another person, or they rely on that other person a lot, et cetera, et cetera. So if this person is saying that, then either A, they're a dick and a douchebag and they're not appreciating you, in which case show them that you should be appreciated, or B, maybe there is something they're trying to say and they're just not good at saying it. They're expressing out of frustration and anger, in which case maybe there is something you could do better to improve yourself. But the answer to both of those is just focus on yourself, work on yourself, and see what path it takes you down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And keep an eye on this behavior as well. If it becomes something more manipulative from this person,
right?
Or if they continue with this kind of behavior, I don't think that they should. At a base level, saying you're lucky to have me is just, it's very off-putting, that kind of sentiment, especially like vocalizing in that way. So I would keep an eye on that. The
implication, the unsaid part there is, I'm better than you, and I could do better than you.
Yeah,
right.
And again, you should be you're so lucky that I even date you in the first place. That doesn't mean it's always that
very
way. 100% of the time, maybe you should be more humble. Maybe you are being an ingrate in some areas, and he just finally snaps. But most of the time, when
but there was a better way to communicate it.
Yeah, for sure. And also, even if they did communicate it better, like most of the time when somebody says that, they're putting you down.
It always boils down to communication every single time. If you ever have any relationship problem ever, you talk about it. So what you should do is sit that person down and say, hey, when you said this, what did you mean by that specifically? And, one of two things. Either A, they're going to be like, oh, you suck and you're bullshit and you're not doing whatever, in which case you could think, okay, well, this person obviously has some issues and I have to make a decision about that. Or B, they could say, well, I just get frustrated with how you do this, or I don't think you're seeing this, and in which case that's a problem for you to tackle, But either way, it comes down to take that statement, apply it to yourself honestly, and say, is it them being immature and possessive, or is it maybe something I'm doing? And that's what you start with,
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. Hope that helps.
All right. There's your relationship advice for the week. It's going to fucking destroy their lives, and we're going to be held liable for
divorce immediate.
He actually is a supermodel billionaire.
If this was like Reddit relationship advice, our advice would have immediately been to just break up. So I hope
we are the asshole. Yeah, they mark us. We are the asshole. Just fucking Reddit gold out the ass everywhere.
Introduce a third.
Dicks.
Get a bowl. Saves every relationship, according to Reddit.
Make the hilarious joke. I broke my arms, and frankly, I did not see that coming, and that'll make him laugh and give him some Reddit gold. It works every time.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Patreon.com/theofficialpodcast for bonus content, early access to adless versions of our shows, Red Thread, as well as the official podcast. And we have movie nights over at the Patreon as well. And also,
we just finished
coming back soon.
Ghost Stories.
Yeah, we just finished Ghost Stories. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How was it?
Oh, it was so good. I fucking love that.
Cool.
So good.
We're going to be picking a new one, so if you sign up to the Patreon, you get a say in what we're going to watch next. Okay. Bye.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye-bye.